By Tal Reshef. He's an expert in Asia business and trade. Thanks for being with us here today. Some of this is speculation, obviously, right now, as the effects are just some becoming clear. But what kind of projected economic impact are we likely to see in Israel, for example?
Well, Israel is the kind of the third stone to be touched. So it's even the first one, China, is not very clear. We know that things are stopped. No outgoing tourism, no inbound tourism, no production in many parts of China. Not all of them, but very many parts. And production chains are being stopped if one of the parts there does not function. Big parts of the retail, the commerce, have stopped. So for the moment, it's bad news. But as long as we use the experience that we have with other virus eruptions in the past, we can tell that once it's getting managed, and the estimations are, and it's estimations, no more, that it will stop until the end of May, we know that once it happens, things get back to what it was before in a very short time.
Now, we were chatting about this in the break a bit here. You mentioned no production in a lot of sectors of China. That's a staggering concept when it's hard to find industries around the world that China's not directly contributing to or supplying to at this point. Is China being forthcoming? Is it believed about what's happening, or is there so much unknown still happening in China?
There is a lot which is unknown, because the only source of information that you have from China is the Communist Party. And the Communist Party, not because of its reputation of hiding information, it has shown during this virus history, short history, as not publishing all the information, starting from the beginning when they arrested the doctors that published this fact. And it continues as until now. They control the social media. They arrest bloggers who picture people who are sent back home from the hospitals because there's no possibility to give them treatments, or bodies piled up in the back of hospitals. So we have numbers. It means that the people infected by the virus are getting close to 100,000. It means that 1,600 medical staff people were infected. We cannot tell whether it's true or not, or maybe the reality is bigger. We can only guess.
Now, we're talking about all these massive control measures being put in place by China now, shutting large swaths of society, industry, and the people largely there willing to cooperate with these massive social controls. Looking at Israel again now, if the government has to take certain measures here, up till now we're talking about all these self-imposed quarantines. Could those measures be effective in a place like Israel that isn't so ready to fall in line, let's say, with strict social controls? How might a country like Israel deal with an outbreak?
With this plague, not yet. China is the only one who's touched really deeply with that. There have been few cases in other countries around the globe, in Europe, in Japan, in Singapore, places which are also very well organized. Thailand, which is less well organized, also, but not in numbers big enough in order to answer your question. And yes, Israelis are famous to be non-disciplined, so those measures cannot be taken so severely as in China. I hope we will not need it.
Yes, let's hope we don't get to that, and I have to analyze that part of the situation. Tal Reshef, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.